in defense, as Jimmy alluded to. Offensively, you look certainly at Alabama, 91.5 a game. They absolutely can score big. We talk about Tennessee, they give up 60.8. They really are, according to Ken Palm, the #1. And Pomeroy says his rating, the #1 defensive efficiency in the country against the #3 offensive efficiency in the country. Something's got to give, guys. Something's got to give.
Let's throw that ball up and see what is going to give. Omori and Okpara. Jump center. It's controlled by Ziegler and the Vols. Ziegler penetrates and denied. Boy, LeBaron Philon got back after he had gotten beaten for a block.
We talk about Alabama's offense. They have improved a great deal on the defensive end of the floor the last couple of weeks.
Take a great play right there by Philon. Doesn't get enough publicity, but he's a guy that the NBA people love.
They love him. He's a freshman for them.
Got him charted as a first rounder.
Milicic with the ball, scoring been down a little bit lately. They've been carried by Ziegler and Chaz Lanier. They'll try to get Lanier the basketball like they do there. He rises, fires, and flushes.
They tell me he gets started and makes that first shot, watch out. He can flat out shoot the rock, baby.
That's the good hands, too, by Lanier, who's averaging almost 18 a game.
Lanier comes off that down screen initially on the pin down into that curl at the elbow. That is his money shot for Chaz Lanier.
Tell you one thing before the game, I was talking to Nate Oates. He said, we don't want to play 5-on-5 with them. We want them to get in transition and get a lot of easy baskets.
Yeah, Dick, he's made his first 2.
In order to do that, Alabama's going to have to get stops. If not, they're going to take the ball out of the net for the next 2 hours.
I like that. Good call, Jimmy.
Youngblood number 8 had a massive game in that 111-point performance, and Mark Sears is playing at another level. Philon, good kick. Nelson, no, and he's been reluctant to shoot that 3 lately.
They made 22 threes in that game.
Yeah.
We talked about Mississippi State. Put 111 on the board.
All right, Roxy, thank you, with Jimmy Dykes and Dick Vitale. Fast start for Tennessee. Lead at 4-zip. Alabama's missed their first 2 3-point field goals. Molly McGrath is also with us. Chaz Lanier has all 4 for Tennessee. Ziegler got tripped, no call, almost like a soccer play where you continue with the advantage. Here's Lanier, no. He's missed his last 2. He's taken 4 shots.
They want to run, baby. They want to run. You're talking about Alabama. They want to get transition. They don't stop before the game. We don't want to play 5-on-5. They're very physical. Tennessee can flat out defend.
Ziegler will launch. No good. And Alabama wants to do this. Push the pace. Point guard on point guard. Sears is fouled by Ziegler. The call from out top by Don Daly.
It's the first 10 seconds of the possession that you have to lock in on Alabama. They lead the country in points scored. First 10 seconds of the possession, man, Tennessee's transition defense has got to be rock solid. It's hard to get that defense set, though, Coach, off of a miss. Those 2 guys right there with Braden Smith from Purdue, the 3 best point guards in college basketball, Mark Sears for Alabama, Zakai Ziegler for Tennessee, and Braden Smith from Purdue.
Tell you one thing, Ziegler, tremendous defensive player. How good? He was the defensive player of the year in the conference last year. And might win it again, according to Rick Barnes.
Yeah.
But he's hooked up now with the best offensive player in the game as a point guard, Sears. I'll tell you one thing, you got the best on best in the SEC.
Yep. And the unique part about Ziegler is, as great as he is defensively, he leads the conference in assists on a team that doesn't play a ton of up-tempo. There's a pick right there, and then a turnover from Mo Diabate.
Can't emphasize enough what Nate Oates said about, in a pre-talk with him, we have to play in transition. We can't play them 5-on-5. They're so physical, so physically tough.
And again, you've got to get stops if you're Alabama to run and not go up against that half-court defense.
Turnovers have been an absolute key in this series recently. Tennessee has won 3 games in a row. Lanier, that's straight on.
That is
and what a
money.
screen from Milicic.
You can't allow him open looks like that. Nobody was near him. He could flat out shoot the rock. You've got to get in his face.
7-2 start for Tennessee, and Lanier has got all 7. Youngblood, contact, he is strong.
What a physical drive by Youngblood. You have to make some body contact plays against a physical defense like Tennessee. Youngblood just got 2.
Youngblood had 7 threes in the last game. He came out with South Florida.
Great hands by Philon, Dick. Ziegler fouled him. That's going to be 3.
Ravi, that's a big call. That's the second foul on Ziegler. And Tennessee is a completely different team when he has to sit on that bench with foul trouble, which is going to happen. Gainey's going to come in. Tennessee's been a little careless with that ball to start with. Milicic had a turnover. Zakai Ziegler not strong with it. And that's just a bad foul by Zakai Ziegler. You're too important to pick up your second this early.
You can circle 16-23 and currently a 1-point game when Ziegler left the floor. We talked to Nate Oates at the shoot-around this morning about can you isolate Ziegler, try to get him in foul trouble. He said that's almost impossible.
Yeah, Zakai Ziegler has got himself in foul trouble by those open floor transition fouls.
How quick has Philon's hands been, not only with the block earlier, but the steal of the ball there.
You know, not only Ziegler is effective on the defensive end, he's also, think about offensively with his penetration, the assist, and the last, I think with 4 or 5 games, he got 16 points every game.
Shooting really well. That's there's an example of not having Ziegler on the floor. Sears, tough shot in the paint.
Tell you, one guy that likes seeing Ziegler sitting on the sideline, one guy loves seeing him. His name Mark Sears. Mark Sears loves seeing him sitting on the bench.
You couldn't ask for a better start if you're Alabama. The reason why that second foul on Zakai Ziegler has completely flipped this game early. The lack of ball handlers for Tennessee now, the pressure's starting to rise up. Mark Sears has a lot in his catalog, but at his best, he is a downhill driving force going to his left.
Welcome back to Rocky Top. It is Alabama on a 7-0 run, now leading Tennessee 9-7. Molly McGrath is here, as is Dick Vitale, Jimmy Dykes, and I'm Carl Ravitch. We started the telecast talking about the 2 point guards. Already the game has changed because one of them, Ziegler's on the bench in foul trouble.
Yeah, he's the head of the snake of the best defensive team in college basketball. I would say this about this game, though. This is the biggest home game in the history of Tennessee basketball when you consider what's at stake. The winner most likely is going to be a 1 seed in that NCAA tournament. A beautiful start for Alabama on the road because you have Zakai Ziegler in foul trouble early, Coach.
Tell you one thing, going to the sideline makes certainly Mark Sears very happy to see him on that sideline, but I'll tell you this. Think about this, unbelievable with Alabama. They have scored 85 points, 9 games in a row or more. Nobody's ever done that in the SEC.
On the road.
And you're playing against a defense that only gives up 60.8 a game. Will they get 85 or better against them?
Yeah.
If they do it, Nate Oates told me, we got to run, baby. We got to run. We got to get up and down the court. We don't want to play 5-on-5 against them because they're too tough defensively when you play them 5-on-5.
So, Ravi, that last foul on Alabama has been upgraded to an F1. So, Mashack's going to get 2 free throws and the ball. And Mashack now will have some primary handling duties as well with Zakai Ziegler on the bench. Here's what we're looking at, Coach. That hit on the face right there, they determine as an F1. And anytime there's contact, neck or head area, they're going to take a look at it. And they walk away with 2 free throws in the ball for Tennessee.
Tell you what.
Well, guys, in that last timeout, Coach Rick Barnes was lamenting Tennessee's early turnovers in this game. He spent the majority of time talking about taking care of the ball, telling his team they needed to show more mental toughness and battle Alabama in transition better. And he told his shooters to attack Mark Sears and his ability to defend them and told Chaz Lanier, keep shooting, to no one's surprise.
So why does he say that? Because Mark Sears is just as important to his team as Zakai Ziegler is to Tennessee. Make Mark Sears defend. See if you can get him in foul trouble as performs well.
They got a foul on Stevenson there on the inbounds, Jimmy, as he grabbed Lanier on the walk by.
Tell you one thing, in a Kentucky game we had with Alabama, he stepped up defensively.
No doubt he did.
He really played, I thought, defense and offense in that game efficiently.
There's their 4th turnover. Diabate, no. Loose ball, Tennessee.
He should have cut the defense off, get a better angle, and had a layup. He veered out instead of to the goal.
You've got to defend those Tennessee off-ball screens. Watch the 4 offensive players without the ball. How many screens they set within a possession.
Gainey missed the layup, and it's going the other way. Don Daly called that on Igor Milicic, crashing for an offensive rebound.
You can live with that foul, though, if you're Rick Barnes, because Milicic trying to make an aggressive downhill play as an offensive rebounder.
Tell you one thing, Milicic going to have to step up offensively. He can go inside, outside. He's going to make some shots. His dad, by the way, is the head of the national Polish team.
Yeah, Igor actually played for that national qualifier this past summer. A lot of international experience inside that number 7 jersey for Tennessee.
He has scored in single digits, to your point, Dick, the last 2 games. So they'd like to see a little more uptick offensively.
Watch Holloway. He can shoot the ball if they get in his hands.
Hayden Holloway, he's going to
shoot it.
step back for a 3 and didn't get a chance to take it, with Gainey with a hand up. Alley-oop, Nelson, no good.
Good job by Tennessee to put traffic around Nelson as the roll man.
That's the shot. Milicic, instead he finds Cade Phillips. And that will count according to the official Olandis Pool.
Cade Phillips comes into the game, coach, and makes plays. Here's what I'm talking about. You don't run plays for Cade Phillips often. This is a guy who just finds a way, man, to get and ones, offensive rebounds. A lot of heart, a lot of toughness out for a kid. His dad, his grandfather, and his uncle played football in Alabama.
Well, you're forgetting one big one. His mother played basketball in Alabama. How did he get in a Tennessee uniform?
Exactly.
I want to know that.
Wow.
How did he get in a Tennessee uniform?
I know how. Different styles of play. He fits in with Tennessee. He doesn't exactly run and shoot with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
He's a beautiful kid, though, that grew up on Big Oak Ranch in Alabama. Talking about Cade Phillips, it's a Christian home for kids. His family ran it. He has a tremendous heart for people. A perfect fit in a program that stands for It's Not About Me. That's Tennessee's answer to everything in life.
INAM. 11-9 Volunteers. Ziegler on the bench, 2 fouls for Tennessee. Philon to Omori, and they're going to get Phillips. Quick whistle here today.
You know, both these teams very good rebounding teams. In fact, Alabama leads the nation in rebounding. But also, when you watch Tennessee, they flat up get on the glass as well.
Thornstone Dubar with Stevenson, who lost him in an easy layup.
Isolation basketball play call for Nate Oates off that out of bounds under. And a very simple play call. Isolate Stevenson, throw it to him, let him go to work off of 2 bounces.
Tell you what, he was a talented kid coming out of high school, rated very high. They think his potential is off the charts.
Offensive screen, and they get Phillips again with that call.
Ravi, simple is good in big-time games and in March. It's a very simple ISO out of bounds play for Alabama. And when they go to work, isolation ball, they're so good at just pounding away with big, small forwards in a mismatch. Stevenson, the example.
To me, Jimmy, they're at their best when they're running the basketball. When they're getting the boards and getting the ball out in transition, they're as good as anybody in the country.
Yeah.
Check
not
that
the
last
best.
foul, guys, was called on Lanier. Top of the key, 3 good Philon, and he is playing above his skis right now.
You don't dare any guard for Alabama to shoot the basketball. They have a fearless approach about pulling from 3. Philon, not a high percentage guy, but he can make them when they have to.
33s a game.
Yeah.
They shoot 33s a game. They made 22. How you going to beat a team making 22 threes like they did against Mississippi State?
Hard to beat. Chance for a 3-point play. The other way. Lanier again, and what a massive start he's having.
That's the respect, though, that Lanier has in this league. You're talking about a guy that shot 41% in his career from the 3-point line. Just enough of a screen by Cade Phillips to get Chaz Lanier coming off that baseline. That is their money play. It's ran for Lanier. It's ran for Gainey. At times, it's even ran for Zakai Ziegler.
Rick Barnes has done wonders to the transfer portal. Last year, Dalton Knecht, unbelievable player of the year.
Yeah.
This year, Lanier from North Florida, been so effective and so efficient.
He's not the offensive player of Dalton Knecht, but he's a better defender.
How about Aiden Holloway? They respect that three. They came charging at him, and he went right by.
I tell you one thing, his bank account isn't going to ring like Knecht's down there with the Lakers. I can guarantee you that.
Not for a while.
He's averaging about 9 a game. Had 8 yesterday as the Domchek went nuts with 31. Lakers, by the way, Jay Redick's done a great job.
Another three, and a rare one for Darlington Dubar.
So it's going to have to be off a ball movement with Zakai Ziegler out. That ball's got to stay hot. It's got to change sides of the floor on the pass if you're Tennessee.
Well, they did a great job reversing the ball, swinging the ball side to side.
Foul there on Cade Phillips as they are piling up. That's the second on Phillips. Dubar, just a 25% three-point shooter, knocked down that one. And a reminder, the final, believe it or not, the final big Monday doubleheader of the season. Cooper Flagg and number 2 Duke look to remain unbeaten at Cameron Indoor. They host Wake Forest, and at 9 Eastern, Houston hosting Kansas. You can find both games on the ESPN app. Holloway will shoot 3 free throws.
Yeah, he got hit. Let me tell you this. This game is big. As you mentioned earlier, Jimmy, I agree with the fact that this game could mean a number 1 seed. I think they're 3 that are locks. I don't think there's any doubt we know about Auburn today. My God, did they show they were number 1? They went to Rupp. I thought it was going to be a wire jobber. Well, they dominated. I mean, wire to wire, Auburn dominated, and they got a great performance out of the kid with 30 points today.
Miles Kelly had 30.
Kelly.
Pettiford had 21, and Mazzara had 22. The 3 guys had 73 points.
Think about the depth of that team. National Player of the Year, Janai Broome, single digits in Rupp, and they pound the Wildcats.
Yeah, 9 points. Bottom line is, when you look at Auburn, they got 6 guys in double figures. But there's no doubt, Auburn, Duke, and Houston to me are locks. The next one is going to either be Tennessee or it's going to be Alabama. I think Florida hurt itself big time losing to Georgia.
Yeah, they did.
But don't forget, Alabama and Florida meet middle of next week.
The only thing about Houston, they had some losses early that could cost them. You could have 2 more teams on that 1 seed.
Holloway
SEC.
has missed all 3 of those free throws.
Not going to hurt them.
And Meshack stole it from Amori, and then he foolishly fouled him. And listen to Rocky Top. Lanier, here's another turnover. Philon, a pull-up 3. No good.
Well, you got lucky against Alabama. You don't run transition defense inside that 3-point line. You meet that ball up top. Bam.
Gainey, a little pull-up there to pull Tennessee out in front by 2. Holloway dribbles into traffic.
That's exactly what they didn't want to happen. Play 5-on-5.
Well, again, one of the big stories of this game, fellas, and we will not take that 12-minute break for another second, is the 7 turnovers committed so far by Tennessee with Ziegler out, and even when he was in, they were a little sloppy.
And I'll tell you this, the big question when you talked to Nate Oates was turnovers about us in Alabama. Instead, it's reversed
the other way
itself.
around, yeah.
Well, Alabama now is 39th in the country in KenPom defensively. That number has dropped about 20 spots in the last 3 weeks. Nate Oates has held his guys' feet to the fire with a very short leash for defensive mistakes.
Tennessee, by the way, is number 1 with KenPom defensively, number 1.
Timeout on the floor. It was an electric atmosphere when we got here, and it has only increased. Big start for both teams. 2-point game.
Zakai Ziegler goes to the bench with foul trouble, and Chaz Lanier says, no problem, I got 9 points for you early. The harder Chaz Lanier works to get open, the deeper the run is going to be for Tennessee. He's learning what it's like to be on top of the scouting report, and Rick Barnes has challenged him to come off those screens hard, aggressive, ready to shoot. And Molly, I know that's got to have some emphasis in that huddle as well from Rick Barnes, right?
Yeah, Rick Barnes is constantly just telling him to keep shooting, and he's constantly challenging him to get open with his physicality, take more shots, and take those shots as quickly as possible. And Lanier said that his quick trigger is his biggest strength, but it's something he constantly works on, catching the ball, setting his feet, squaring up his hips, and he said coaches will time how quickly he can get his shot up, and they'll challenge him to do it even faster, and that's exactly what they're doing here tonight, guys.
Tell you what, Molly is multi-dimensional. She did a great job in football, and she does a great job in basketball. It's unbelievable. First time I've ever worked with her. She's terrific.
And from the combine is Molly as we continue here in this SEC clash that may end up getting a team on the one line when it comes time to Selection Sunday, Alabama and Tennessee.
Versatile and agile. That is Molly McGrath.
Gainey is in the paint, and now he looks for an outlet.
Alabama swarming defensively.
Good defensive possession from Alabama. Plenty of time.
They're just not coming off as shooters on any penetration. That's the respect they have for Alabama at 3.
Sears gets bumped and then has a release and a foul from behind on Dubar. What a job by Mark Sears.
Great look, just a terrific look. Came around, the shot was taken away from him, the driving angle, and he looked, great vision, found the open man.
Ravi, you would love to take away Sears' left hand. Okay, everybody understands that, but Nate Oates also understands teams trying to do it. So he gets Mark Sears the ball on the move, which makes it almost impossible to take away that left paw.
Tell you what, they always say, I'll tell you coaches, I get a kick, he reads scouting reports. You can't let him go to the left. He just love going to the left. Or you kill him. You know what? Say it all you want. He's going to the left.
Left and lefter.
Years ago, Elgin Baylor, one of the greatest of all time, they said, oh, man, he can't go. He wants to go, oh, he's this way, that way. He went any way he wanted.
Amori's free throw ends a string of 4 misses in a row. So they've missed 5 of their last 6. Lanier. Five on that shot clock as Gainey penetrates, gets a little shove, and he freed himself up.
Ravi, Gainey is not a guy that's going to drive it and finish at the rim, but he's going to drive that ball man to that elbow. He is money on both sides.
Yeah, he really is a driver, Jimmy, no doubt about it. His dad was a great player for North Carolina State. Herb Sendek, who I thought got a raw deal there when he got fired, now at Santa Clara.
Crowd wanted to walk on Amori. He didn't get it. Now Sears with 5. He goes to his left again, finds Amori again, and he gets 2.
What a tremendous look. I mean, this kid is so unselfish. You know, last year, he would probably have been player of the year, but lost out because Kinnick was off the charts. And this year, it's been broom, broom, broom. But this guy is coming on like you can't believe.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, he's playing like what we all thought he would be this year, a preseason All-American.
Milicic get a little step, nice dish, and a flush.
That's great team basketball. That is team execution. Efficient. Share the ball. Find the open man.
This is as loud as I've heard Thompson Bowling Arena maybe in the history of coming here. So Tennessee without Zakai Ziegler. They got to manufacture offense different ways. The elbow jump shot by Gainey is money. You don't have elite guys that can attack the rim. Milicic right now might be your best playmaker, driving the ball from the power forward position and finding Okpara with that weak side cut.
Wow, you're talking about loud this place today. It is. Somebody told me it might have been louder last night. Blake Shelton was here.
Blake Shelton was here, no doubt.
Shelton.
Yes.
Credit the Food City Center staff, man. He was here till about 11. They didn't get all the equipment on until 3 in the morning, and they got it ready for basketball. Double bonus for Alabama as Philon. It's that first one to go through.
I really like Feilein. I'll tell you what, that kid can flat out play. He's a point guard deluxe. He really understands, and it also takes the ball out of the hands of Sears so often. He gets help there with Feilein with the ball in his hand.
And Feilein can defensively cover your point guard, which also saves Sears foul trouble.
Feilein has got 8. It was about 4 games ago where Nate Oates said, I got to get another creator on the court to play with Mark Sears, whether that is Feilein or Holloway. And there's a push on Feilein. What it's done is free up open shots for Sears, for Stevenson, for Holloway, and certainly for Youngblood.
Take a look right here at Nate Oates. What a job he's done. He has 27 wins against top teams, top-rated teams in the top 25 since being here, and that's the most ever at Alabama.
Ravi, think about this. Nate Oates' team has never scored more than 74 points against Rick Barnes.
Yeah, he's 1-3 against Barnes. Yeah, they have clamped down on that team that scores almost 90 a game.
He's got a real run going right now with 85 in 9 consecutive games. The first
on the
time
road
ever,
yeah, on the
ever
road
in the SEC.
Yeah.
Will he get that today?
Boy, that's the money question. If they do, they're going to win the game.
Gainey picking up some of the Ziegler slack. Remembers that Kai Ziegler fouled out at the 16:23 mark. With 2 fouls, he's been on the bench since. Sears. Yes,
Wow.
a rainbow 3.
He shot that from Nashville. He shot that from Nashville. The guy's got range. Oh, they wanted to post him inside.
Whoa, there's a turnover from Milicic as Boswell just came into the game and threw it over his head.
Ravi, how fast Alabama scores in the half court within 10 seconds. They drove that ball baseline, and one swing pass to the next swing pass, they find Sears wide open up top.
They think more possessions helps anybody the way to get down the floor. They believe, and it's exciting. It's an exciting style of play for fans. I mean, they love it up there in Tuscaloosa.
And again, having Holloway and Boswell.
Nice drive.
Nice, easy drive there from the lefty.
They faked the get action. Diabate didn't hand it back to Holloway, which you call get, and just turned the corner and got right down the pipe.
Milicic 3, no good. And a good block out by Youngblood on Boswell.
Diabate is a really steady player.
Holloway pretty on the baseline and no good. Rebound ripped by Okpara.
Got numbers if you're Tennessee.
Gainey a floater, no. Okpara, yes, and he's got a chance for 3. Felix Okpara coming off his best game in a Vol uniform, 6 for 6, 15 points.
The value of a guard that can get the ball on the glass. Jordan Gainey does a good job. Look at Okpara, man. He fights to get inside position. That's 2 big bodies, man. When you talk about Amori and Okpara going nose to nose, a foul on Amori sets him down.
Okpara has really stepped up his offense. He's been a solid defender, solid rebounder, but now he's really stepped up. And you're right, Carl. He had his best game offensively.
Bart said we want to get him the ball more often. And you're right, Jimmy. That's a second on Amori, so they bring in Aiden Sherrill. And Sherrill is a freshman, and a lot of scouts love him too. Big body, 6'10", 240, just a freshman.
If you're Tennessee, priority number 1, 2, and 3. I watched film with him last night. Guard the basketball and keep those paint touches to a minimum against Alabama.
Sears just hit one from about 34 feet away. He's got an ISO on Milicic.
Speed against strength. Speed against strength.
He went to his right, Dick, and he can't get it. Good defense.
The size, really the size really bothered him in that sequence.
He's not near the player going to his right.
They got it to Okpara, who bounces it difficultly to Milicic. That's an open 3. Okpara working hard, and here comes Sears.
1 against 3. 1 against 3.
He walked with it, and it'll be a turnover against the Crimson Tide.
Nate Oates not a happy guy. He hates those turnovers. I love apple turnovers. I love apple turnovers. He hates turnovers in basketball. Oh, give me an apple turnover.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And a handful of teams know what that feels like at this time. Padula ended up with 26 points in that game, and a big one for Ole Miss. Some strange scores today in the SEC as Kentucky got boat raced, and Arkansas was awful in their loss, too.
I'll tell you one thing, Oklahoma had Kentucky beat except for a kid named Oway, who in the second half put on, I thought, the best performance I've seen in a half. He would not let them lose. I think he had like 23 or 25 in the second half. Made one acrobatic shot after another because he used to play for Oklahoma.
He did. Molly.
Yeah, guys, in the timeout, head coach Nate Oates tried to incite passion with his team. He said, we've got to go for the kill, while Zakai Ziegler is on the bench. I see no killer mentality. You got them, put him away right now, and you see Ziegler's on the floor, but look for Alabama to continue to go right at him to get him back onto the bench, guys.
Lanier and Ziegler both on the floor. Lanier just buried another 3. He's got a dozen points. Yeah, Milicic wrapped Diabate up. That's going to be another one on Milicic.
So think about the trust factor that Rick Barnes has with his point guard, Zakai Ziegler. He told us earlier today, no player I've ever coached gets me more than how Zakai Ziegler gets me. Just the eye contact, they can read each other. And right now, it's not analytics, it's gut-alytics that Rick Barnes is going with. He's trusting his guy with his gut instincts as a coach to put his experienced point guard back on the floor.
He doesn't want this to get away. He doesn't want this to get away. Right now, they really did well while he was on the sideline. They stayed right in the game.
Yeah. If I know Zakai Ziegler like I know him, I bet every time out he's been in Rick Barnes' ear, put me back in, coach, put me back in. That's the competitive fire that this little kid has.
I think there's a lot of guys that have that fire, man. Nobody likes sitting on a pie.
No.
Nobody likes sitting on the pie.
Handful of guys with 2 fouls in this game. Ziegler, Dubar, Milicic, and Phillips for Tennessee. On the other side, Omori and Stevenson each with 2.
Bobby Knight used to say when he coached, the greatest motivator of all is sit your butt down on the bench.
Alabama's free throws haven't helped them. They're 7 of 13. Lanier, no.
It's too short for him.
Yeah.
Too short, too easy.
They don't practice the short ones. Philon, he threw it right over the backboard.
Well, Tennessee has got to get back and stop that ball and build a wall. That's the number one priority when Alabama has their run game going. Their first down offense is so good. You got to build that defense with a wall, and you cannot allow Philon, Sears, Holloway to get to the rim.
They want to get it to Okpara down low with the freshman on him, and he's got it. Ziegler with 8 on the shot clock. Dubar will launch, and it's off to the left and short.
He made one a little bit early.
How about that defense by a guy that's got 2 fouls on him to not commit the third and force a turnover?
But what?
Hey, that's why he was Defensive Player of the Year last year.
No doubt.
In the conference.
Look what he does. He shows his hands the entire time to the officials. You're going to have to come through my chest. That's how you play defense at all times, especially when you're saddled with 2 fouls.
It won't be one that's shown on the highlight reels, but it will be one that's shown in coaching clinics.
No doubt.
Grant Nelson back into the game for Alabama. Ziegler nearly lost his footing.
Nelson's been very quiet like he was in the game he had also against Kentucky.
Alley-oop! No, he couldn't convert it.
Did everything ride so efficient, it's like him up empty.
The iron unkind to Okpara there as Nelson goes to the baseline. He got hit in the face, and he's looking for some help. Diabate one-on-one with Gainey. Grabbed his rebound. That's a nice job, and Okpara had no interest in trying to commit a foul or block.
Alabama calls that action beast, B-E-A-S-T. They just go beast, isolation, pound into your body till they get in front of the rim.
Tell you one thing, with those bodies, I can see why. That's why they lead the nation in rebounding. And Diamante's an underrated player.
Dubar will try again. That's better. Knocked it in for 3.
Hey, 2 for 3, baby. 2 for 3. That's a big plus for them. Rick Barnes, what a job he's done here in Tennessee. Everywhere he's been, he should be automatically in that Hall of Fame.
Holloway, quick trigger.
Man.
Boy, can he silence the crowd.
You have to be there on the catch with a kid like Holloway. He gets it in and out as quickly as any guard in this league.
Tell you one thing, he has one favor. He's played for Auburn and Alabama. Not many can say that. Wear that uniform for both schools.
You think they'll be waiting on him next week when we go to Auburn?
How's the action at the iron bin, Jimmy?
Well, Alabama hanging this game, doing a lot of good things against the nation's #1 defense. You got to work, you got to compete. This is what they call go beast. You're just going to beast your way to the front of the rim when we have a mismatch, and Diabate stays with it. Nothing, absolutely nothing's going to be given in this game. If you're not on the catch of Holloway, he will make you pay.
All right. Looking forward to it. Only 5 fast break points, Jimmy. Alabama's shooting 52%, but it ain't easy.
No, it's not easy, but they're shooting 52% against a Tennessee team that leads the nation down here. Look at this. 37% is what Tennessee has allowed this year. Alabama right now making over half their shots. Alabama doing a good job, guys, at getting that ball around the rim. They've already made 8 twos in this game.
You hear Jimmy Dykes, Smalley McGrath is alongside, as is Dick Vitale. Huge SEC game today between Tennessee and Alabama. A #1 seed could be on the line for the team that wins it. Lanier, no contact, and that draws nothing. Coming out of a break, it's interesting to get a shot like that.
Yeah, not good offense at all by Tennessee. A little stagnant. Got caught with a short clock. Again, to me, Zakai Ziegler, the only guy that can really break down and get into the paint.
Take a look at Barnes. I love that guy. Look, everything about him. He has 829 wins. He gets one more, he catches John Calipari.
There's a play out of the break, and that worked beautifully. An alley-oop maybe to start Nelson.
So think about the difference coming out of the timeout.
Yes.
Tennessee doesn't score. Alabama draws up their play. Advantage Alabama at that under 4 media timeout.
I'll tell you one thing, Nelson's going to get started maybe now. Because really, he had such a great game earlier this year against Tennessee. Against Kentucky, they had 25 and 11. And he's been quiet since.
Gainey. Lanier. A little too strong.
I see that name Lanier, and it brings back great memories. Bob Lanier,
Yes,
St.
sir.
Bonaventure superstar with the Detroit Pistons.
Nelson was a phenomenal driver in high school. Devils Lake, North Dakota.
He played really well in their run last year to the Final Four.
He's got it again, trying to get busy in the paint. Yeah, he's now got 4.
Smart, smart.
No doubt, because there was a mismatch.
Yep.
Ziegler was guarding
advantage.
Nelson initially, then they switched it out. Nelson still had the height advantage.
He took advantage of it right there. See, sometimes you get that one going, one basket, it gets you motivated.
Lanier, no. And he's got a little
Rebounds?
cold here lately.
And who came down with the rebound?
Nelson.
Mr. Nelson.
Stevenson, too strong. Alabama, Sears is open. They find him. And he gets the friendly roll on the road.
Ravi, Alabama is getting 50% of their misses on the year when they miss a 3. You've got to run those loose ball rebounds in this game if you're Tennessee.
A 10-0 run has got them up by 6. A 10-0 run. Rick Barnes on the floor. He's looking at an official before he addresses his team. Largest lead of the game.
On a 10-0 run. This is after the under 4 media timeout. Grant Nelson sets that middle ball screen, and no one hits him. That's a free roll for a guy who's explosive around the rim at 6'10". And then, again, Alabama just goes what they call beast. They get a mismatch, and they go to work, backing you down with those Barkley bounces. and then that ball gets swung, and that's off of an offensive rebound that Alabama, I think they're as good as anybody in the country in those reload threes. The other part about this first half, so important for Tennessee, for Zakai Zeigler not to pick up his third with 1:48 to go in the first half.
You guys both talked about point guards. Head-to-head right now, Sears 10 points, Zeigler no points. Zeigler 3 assists, Sears 1 assist. Volunteers have made 1 of their last 7, make it 1 of 8, 1 of 9.
Alabama goes on those spurts, man.
Watch it.
He's got some kind of range, man. He's got a license to shoot that baby anywhere he wants to shoot it.
You can see how much stronger he is this year after working a lot in the offseason to develop some muscle. Dubar. They've gone ice cold now, 1 of their last 10. Stevenson denied at the rim.
Great defensive play right there, because Stevenson had himself a layup taken away.
Zeigler banged by Nelson. He'll go to the free throw line as he drew the contact.
Well, Rick Barnes told us we've got to run today when we have the opportunity, and not afraid at all to get up and down that floor. Zakai Zeigler, so good as a small guy. Long arms, though, man, for a 5'9" kid, a 6'2" wingspan, and big hands.
All right, College Game Day crew in South Bend to get you set for the final games of the women's college basketball season. That's tomorrow morning. And then at noon, it's the 3rd-ranked Notre Dame hosting 25th-ranked Louisville, 6th-ranked South Carolina hosting the 15th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. It all starts College Game Day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We saw the Tennessee Volunteer lady basketball team, and they got hit pretty hard by the Kentucky women recently.
Yeah, well, Kenny Brooks and Kentucky women's team, Georgia Amore, as good of a guard as we have in the college game, but they put it on Tennessee midweek.
Been a good year for your Fighting Irish, Mr. Vitale, in every which way. And now they got the number 3 ranked team in the country in women's basketball.
Well, they're a little bit of a slump right now. They've lost a couple of games, and she does a great job, Coach Ivy. And that team is special, it really is special. They love them up there in South Bend.
Watch behind the play here. Phillips coming in. Yeah, he takes it. Yeah, that's what they're checking at. That contact looks like by Youngblood,
Yeah.
8 in red.
Got his elbow up a little bit.
Got his elbow up into Phillips, and either Phillips got the attention of the officials or Rick Barnes did.
Have to review.
Rick
The
Barnes,
call
by the
stands
way,
as
is
called.
4-0. 4-0 in top 10 matchups here, 4-0 at home. They got to start making some shots if they expect to stay with this Alabama team, because they can get away from you kind of quickly.
They can go on a run, no doubt about it. And Alabama in the middle of the most difficult part of any schedule for any team in the country.
Carl, you're right about that. I have not seen that anywhere in all my years. 3 teams in the top 6 in the nation. It's unbelievable. They have this date, then they got a date with Florida, the Gators, and then they got a date with Auburn. I mean, are you kidding me? You won't see that in the NCAA tournament.
No.
But that kind of matches the mentality of Nate Oates, even in the non-conference, willing to play anybody, anytime, anywhere. This is an Alabama team that not only do you have to beat them on the floor, X and O's wise and talent wise, they bring a swagger, man, into any arena they come into because of that mentality.
Let me share a story. I talked to him about it the other day. Being in the right place at the right time. Coaching at Romulus High School. In comes to practice Danny Hurley and Bob Hurley. Bob was Danny's assistant up in Rhode Island. They liked one of his high school players, but they liked more than a high school player.
The high school coach.
Bob Hurley became the head coach of Buffalo. He remembered the practice. He told Bobby, I talked to Bobby about it, and he texted me and he said, I love everything about him. I love this fierce competitiveness. I love this ability to communicate with his athletes, and I love that he's a basketball junkie.
And then he hired him.
And then he hired him.
Talking about Nate Oates and Bobby Hurley. All the way, dish, Sherrill, no, and whoa, they're gonna call a foul underneath. Have to see where that contact was. If it's against Milicic, it'll be his 3rd.
He's been really quiet today, Milishek.
It's on Lanier instead.
Revy, so how did Alabama get to the free throw line? They are moving that ball faster than a fast Tennessee defense. That ball is really moving. It is not sticking. Therefore, Tennessee is in some defensive rotations. And once that rotation gets moving, they are finding cutters. Alabama is from the weak side. This time it's Sherrill that gets to the free throw line.
They are hurting themselves big time at the free throw line. They have missed half of their 14 free throw attempts.
The one that surprised me, Holloway went 0 for 3 on the free throw line. He's like an automatic shooter.
So no Zakai Ziegler on the floor to close this half out for Tennessee. Smart. So Tennessee's got to move the ball side to side, set those physical off-ball screens when they're at their best.
Lanier, a fast start, has cooled a little bit. He's got a dozen.
Tell you what, Alabama making a commitment, playing a little defense.
Meshack throws it up, in and out.
Meshack was really a big concern of Nate Oates when they spoke to him. He said he's a tough, hard-nosed guy.
10 seconds, Dickie, in this half, and Sears pulls his way in. Mark Sears now with a dozen.
I love the word bull description with Mark Sears. This is going to count.
Oh, it will count, and he's got a chance for a three-point play. That's exactly how he ended the Illinois game.
That is huge in a close ball game. The team that makes a shot at the buzzer, man, it is such a monumental basket to revisit in the last minute overall. Well, he takes that thing almost coast to coast, and he clearly gets it off and gets the roll. A big-time drive by Jordan Gainey. No Zakai Ziegler to close it out. Jordan Gainey steps up and handles the pressure.
Tell you one thing Gainey did that, as Carl said, to beat Illinois at the buzzer.
Same, very similar.
That can give you big Uncle Mo on your side coming out locker room.
I'm just telling you, clip this play off. The last minute of this game, we may go back and revisit how big this play could be.
I will say, we got to take a look at the plus-minus for Tennessee
when the foul actually occurred. So we're putting .7 back on the game clock.
Job when he's not been in the game.
Managing the game without their star quarterback, no doubt.
I'd still rather him play.
Oh, no doubt.
I would rather him play.
But they've managed it beautifully.
They did it. They did a good job.
But think about Alabama, Dick. They come in on the road against the nation's best defense, and they've hung 42 on Tennessee.
42? They got 85, 9 consecutive games.
Yeah, they're tracking
That's unbelievable.
What a shot by Gainey to finish this half. There's .7 that they put back on the clock, and Alabama's going to try to draw up something with .7 to go.
Well, yeah, use your timeout. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't waste it. And with .7, we all know there's time for a catch and a shot. Most likely not time for a catch, a bounce, and a shot. But Nate Oates, he understands every possession in a game like this is magnified. You got a chance right now with .7 to go.
And he's got a few options to take that shot if he can get them open.
No doubt. Man,
Alabama's had some really great coaches there, but this guy is really, he has done an amazing job, Nate Oates. When you think about the job C.M. Newton did there, Wim Sanderson, Gottfried, they all did quality jobs. But this guy is doing amazing things. And utilize football as a positive rather than moan about it, use it for recruiting.
Let's see what they draw up here. Coach Oates.
It's got to be thrown to the other end.
It's deflected away. He tried to throw Youngblood tried to thread the needle to Holloway, and he couldn't get it. Bama ends the half on a 13-5 run. Molly is with Nate Oates, as she said for the interview.
Coach, I heard you challenge your team to play with more of a killer instinct. How can they do that in the second half?
I mean, we gave away too many points. All the free throws we missed, the layups we missed. I mean, even we didn't sprint back and get a stop when we scored at the end of the half. Like, there's lots of things we have control over that we're just not doing a very good job of right now.
How can you continue to limit the effect of Zakai Ziegler?
Yeah, I mean, getting in foul trouble would help. But, you know, we got to keep them out of the lane. We got to keep bodies in the lane off their non-shooters. We got to be more alert to who the non-shooters are. I thought LeBaron did a really good job early. He's going to have to do a really good job in the second half.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Guys.
All right, Molly, thank you very much. It's a 42-38 Alabama standing first half in a critical game between two teams ranked in the top 6 in the nation. Alabama 42, Tennessee 38, in front of the largest crowd to see a game in Tennessee this season, and the second largest crowd, guys, to see a game anywhere in the country this year.
Well, and what they're seeing is Mark Sears doing a fantastic job. When you're on the road in a big-time game, your stars got to be stars. I mean, that's been Mark Sears in his first half. 12 points, he's got 1 assist, he's only turned it over once, and he's played 18 minutes and 30 seconds. What more do you want Mark Sears to do? He's also been a menace on the defensive end. We thought it'd be a high-impact game between two Titans. So far it has. Look at Mark Sears the last 4 games. Playing like an All-American at the right stretch of time for Nate Oates.
I'll tell you one thing. Also, Jimmy, I look at the first half, I see Alabama shooting 53% against a team that allows only 37%. Also, they only allow like 25% from the 3, Tennessee, and the bottom line is they're 4 for 10, so they're shooting 40% there. That's a big plus for Alabama, making shots.
Mentioned the fact that Zakai Ziegler was on the bench with 2 fouls for a lot of the time. He was a -4 for the entire first half. Showed how they managed the time that he was not on the floor. And to be trailing Molly by only 4 has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, head coach Rick Barnes said the plan for Zakai Ziegler in the second half is to play him as much as they can with those 2 fouls. He said this is a new half in a new game, so he told Ziegler to attack and play without hesitation to get some momentum, but he pointed to those 12 points off turnovers, said that is unacceptable, cannot happen in this second half.
Tell you, Molly, when you think about Ziegler, I thought maybe a little...
It sure looked like it might have been a goaltend on the way down, but Okpara gets credited with the block. Now there's 5 on that shot clock, and Nelson threw an alley-oop to nobody, and that's terrific defense by Tennessee.
We expect that from them defensively. You know, I was mentioning Ziegler with Molly. Bottom line is, what a story is for so many kids. He was not heavily recruited. Here he is, 5'9", never believed in the word can't.
Yep.
Chase your dreams.
Igor Milicic knocks down a 3 to make it a 1-point game.
They needed that from him big time because he's been very silent in the game first half.
Oates continues to show great faith in the freshman Philon, who had a terrific start, and he starts the second half.
Ravi, with all the ball screens that Alabama is setting in this game, Tennessee has to win the line of scrimmage. That second defender has to be at ball level.
Meshack with the block, and he couldn't keep it in bounds.
You can't let Sears turn the corner on those ball screens if you're Tennessee in the second half. Step up, win the line of scrimmage. What's at stake in this game, man? Likely the winner of this one, Coach, is going to be on that 1 seed line, and the loser is going to drop to a 2 seed. It's March 1st. There's not a bigger game in all of college basketball today than what's happening in this second half in Knoxville.
The Dr. Joe speaks, the guru of bracketology. You better listen. You better listen.
Amen to that. A number 1 seed on the line, and they didn't realize the shot clock was not going to reset. They blocked the shot, never hit iron. That's back-to-back terrific defensive stands by Volunteers.
Well, Meshack did a great job defensively in that possession, and he's a tough physical kid. There's really a concern for Nate Oates before the game.
I thought Alabama defensively was really good in the first half, but they can't let their foot off the gas on the road, man. They got to continue to lock in and defend and give themselves a chance to score off their defense.
Ziegler, Milicic, like Nelson, will that last 3 set him off? Meshack, 2 seconds, fires. Too strong. Alabama rebound.
Good job by Bama, though, to stay in front of that ball, man. That is so key.
Philon, the floater, no. And a tussle, and it's a jump ball and possession, Tennessee.
Tell you one thing, man, they get possessions when you talk about Alabama, and they play an exciting brand. Fans love that. Down at Tuscaloosa, they gotta like that style of play.
They get 2 point guards, 2 of the best in the country, each aware of the other's presence, wanting to prove that I am the best point guard in the country.
Got it. Oh man, it was there.
Yeah, bad angle right there for that shot.
It was there.
You were right. It was there. I like that. It was there, Carl Ravage.
Sears, pretty pass.
And so was that. That middle ball screen, early action by Alabama is so hard to defend because Amori is so quick into the ball screen and diving out of the ball screen.
Well, Amori really, talking about a transfer making a difference, came from Rutgers, by the way, graduated in engineering. What a future he's got.
Lanier pulls up, will not get the shot to fall, but he'll shoot 2.
But guys, at the other end, Alabama, again, the first 10 seconds is what they say, this is our first down. And they attack you with that middle ball screen. Amori dives out of it. And no one for Tennessee is tagging that roller, getting physical with him, hitting him at the logo, not allowing him to roll to that rim uncovered.
And I'll tell you one thing, that's normally not their style.
Mark Sears averaging 19 points and 5 assists a game in SEC play. He's been dynamite. It's coming to a close. The last big Monday, Wake Forest will take on number 2 Duke, so it's another opportunity to see Cooper Flagg. And then Kansas will take on Houston. Kansas losing today to a tough Tech team.
Well, they basically say Cooper might come back to school. I said it once and I'll say it again. I got a better chance of growing here than he'll come back to school.
He'll come back to school to donate money for a new practice arena.
Ball faking, Sears steps into a 3. Mark Sears is doing it all right now.
I want to ask you, Jimmy, you've saw a lot of SEC. I want to ask you this question. We're watching Sears. The last few games I've seen, he's been sensational. Can he close the gap enough to win the Player of the Year in the SEC, or is that a lock for Broome?
Yeah, well, I think he's going to close it down, but not enough for Johni Broome to not win it on March 1st. But I will say this. The last 2 weeks, Mark Sears is playing like a legitimate first-team All-American. It all started when Nate Oates set his tail down at LSU a month ago and said, I'm not going to play unless you play how I want to play. And from that moment on, Mark Sears has been not only the best player, the best voice, the best practice guy. Mark Sears answered when Nate Oates challenged this guy.
And that was a great move by Oates.
Yes.
Really terrific. A lot of coaches are afraid to do that with star players. But he did it, and the kid took it really well, and he used it as a positive and motivated himself. I agree with you. I think when you look at Broome, it's tough to take it away from him.
He said Sears has become the best teammate on this club as well. As Philon finds Nelson, that shot, he's not shooting it with confidence off to the left.
25% three-point shooter on the year is Nelson. It doesn't come off his wrist clean.
There's a steal. Lanier went to the deck, and they will have a three-point play where the crowd wanted a walk.
Turnover talks into a three-point play. Unbelievable scenario.
But man, the effort, check out the effort of Alabama to get after this loose ball. Philon dives from behind. A little bit of contact goes uncalled, and Philon gives it up. Man, a big turn in this game in favor of Roll Tide. Roll.
Philon has been a force. Sears has been exceptional to start this second half, and now Diabate will attempt to convert that three-point play and up the lead to 6.
Diabate's been a little unsung hero in this game for Alabama. He has really given them really quality production.
Tennessee 9 turnovers. Alabama only 7 in this game.
And it's usually the other way around.
It is.
You're usually looking at the numbers going the other way, but Alabama with double-figure turnovers.
Ziegler, he can answer the bell.
He's a tremendous college player. What he's done in college, when you talk about a kid that was not big-time recruit, was no McDonald's All-American, he's been such a performer.
The battle of the point guards is on. Ziegler shoots for a 3 when we return. Sitting alongside a legend today, and everywhere he goes, Dick Vitale honored. This was during the first half where they pay tribute to a man who's been absent from the game for a few years. A $10,000 check, all from NIL money. Every member of the team donated to come up with $10,000. The check was presented by your very, very, very close friend, Rick Barnes. And to understand what you've been through to be here, you just said it during the break, this is the best medicine, and you're looking and sounding great. Great.
Appreciate that, Carl. I'd say I was brought to tears when Rick made that presentation. I can't say enough about Rick Barnes. what a humanitarian. I mean, he belongs in the Basketball Naismith Hall of Fame. He's got 829 wins. He's done an amazing job, so many schools. This man's heart and his unbelievable love for people, what he's done for me in my battle with cancer, prayers daily. I mean, I was getting daily. And one in particular, I always tell people that blew me away. He loses a game he wanted to win so badly, going back to Texas, and he gets beaten the last minute of the game. And one that morning, I get a text message, Dickie, I'm just getting back from Austin, and I want you to know I didn't forget your name. Here's a prayer for me that gave me some inspiration. How many guys do that? I love the man. He's to me, a Hall of Fame humanitarian.
Right, no doubt. And to that check, it speaks to the culture of Tennessee basketball. It's not about me, and they all came together for your cause today, Coach, as Alabama, again, so good.
Yeah.
Out of the timeouts in this game, they have scored more than they have not.
And they have so many weapons. That was Aiden Holloway. He now has 8. The three-point shooting has been on point, almost 47% for Alabama today.
They need a 3 from Lanier. They got to get him a 3. They got to get him a look for a 3.
Ziegler in the paint. The floater will find the bottom.
Okay, so you're going to have to make some tough twos in this game both ways. I'm very impressed with Alabama's defensive improvement over the last 3 weeks. Making you make some tough ones, and Zakai Ziegler is wired to do it.
Meshack now one-on-one with Sears. Difficult shot, good defense.
His size, his toughness made that happen. Meshack is that kind of defender. In fact, he was really worried about Meshack when he told me before the game, playing Sears.
Ooh, Ziegler ate that one from Diabate. I mean, he ate it.
Well, you see the pressure that Zakai Ziegler puts on the rim, but Diabate doesn't give up on the play. That recovery length and recovery determination, really well done by Diabate.
I really like Diabate, Jimmy. I really like him.
He's a winner, man. He just makes winning plays.
Ziegler has scored the last 5 for Tennessee, and he's got a chance to add to that. By the way, Dick, you mentioned Lanier, who started 5 of 7. He's missed his last 5. But let's talk about the gala coming up.
Oh, wow, that's special. Really, I want to thank our producer for doing this, Scott Matthews. It's a little surprise to me. But the bottom line is it's going to be we're going to go over $100 million.
It's amazing.
We're at 92.8 million. We got Mike Strahan. He knows about cancer. His daughter had brain cancer. University of Southern Cal, now cancer-free. We got John Calipari representing the 20 years of the gala. We got Grant Hill, the All-American, being honored. Danny Hurley winning 2 national titles. Hannah Storm being honored with a special award, and Nancy Lieberman. It's a special night. If you want more information, we'll sell out right away. So if you want tickets, call 941.
You are the overall 1 seed, raising money for that cause.
Holloway can't get that one to drop. We'll get that phone number to you in a second. It's a 5-point game, and Lanier's trying to get some more. No, with a left and a goaltend. It was tipped in and still in the cylinder.
Internationally, that counts. They ain't going to count here. It counts internationally. By the way, that number, if you want information on the gala, 941-350-0580. 941-350-0580. Our executive director, Mary Connealy, does a great job with Janet Allen. I couldn't thank them enough for what they do. $100 million would go across. Think about that for kids battling cancer.
Ravi, Alabama, with the lead on the road, they do not want to have live ball turnovers and let Tennessee get out and go.
They double there, and
almost.
Meshack came over. You're right, Jimmy.
Almost. Alabama's half-court defense, I think they're gaining confidence as this game goes on, and we can guard Tennessee in the half-court. So now both teams are concerned with live ball turnovers and scoring before the defense gets set.
You know, Jimmy, they're going to have to guard people when you start playing next Florida and then Auburn.
Yeah.
You better guard some people, especially if they want to get where they want to get. They don't just want to get to the tournament. They want to get to the championships and win it.
Tuesday, it's a difficult game for Auburn, who wiped out Kentucky today. They'll be at A&M at 9 Eastern time on ESPN. That's too easy for Phylon underneath.
Alabama is so good at pounding you with their chest as the on-ball guy and scoring through your chest.
Ziegler, no. He's missed a couple of free throws and couldn't convert there.
that he's trying to do everything he can to get them the win.
Again, this is what Alabama says when we go beast. This is what we're talking about. Isolation, and that's just going to be a one-on-one when you get this ball around the rim. Go beast mode on small. Bam, that contact right there to finish. Alabama has done that 4 or 5 times in this game.
Using violent, man. You like that term. You get all excited next to me here. I watch the way this guy jumps in joy using the word beast. He goes to bed. I hope you don't yell that in bed. I hope you don't yell in bed. Beast, 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 because your wife is gorgeous. Oh, he loves the word beast.
You know who else? This little kid on the free throw line. He made a tough program tougher when he came here. He just can't make a free throw right now. Man, critical misses for Zakai Ziegler.
That basket has been very difficult for the teams to make free throws as Nelson will draw the foul. Phillips just back into the game. And that one is on Cade Phillips. He comes in and he picks up his 3rd foul.
Guys, Alabama comes in making 11 3-point shots per game. Where are they doing the damage in this game, though? They are pounding that thing inside. 14 made 2-point shots in this game. Nate Oates on the road, scoring at the rim and getting to the foul line. That is huge.
Nelson's free throw misses.
I'll tell you one thing. Alabama's keeping Tennessee in the game on the free throw line. The numbers right now, I don't see the number, but I know it's been.
They've made 9 and missed 8.
That's a no-no.
It is.
It's a no-no, especially on a roll.
Yeah.
Rattles one in.
He rattles very kind.
He rattled it in.
On, baby, and there ain't no doubt about it.
Lanier's got to find the bottom, and the floater is too strong.
Not a good shot. That's a very difficult, tough shot by Lanier early in the clock.
Shear's going to make some team in basketball. There's no doubt in my mind.
Holloway nearly lost it. Oh, bad pass. Look at Meshack. He wins the race. Spins. Oh, and he's got a chance for a couple of free throws. What hustle.
He showed his toughness right there, Meshack. He wanted that ball. Nothing was going to stop him. Oh, man, I get excited for that. I'm 85. I shouldn't get that emotional. Too excited. That's why I love this game.
Coach, Tennessee defensively, they've got to score off their defense in this second half. Meshack is a guy that leads it, puts a lot of ball pressure on. Rick Barnes turning up that #1 defense in the country right now with 12:45 to go.
I can see why Nate Oates, I'll tell you, in my pre-game talk with him, he totally talked about for a while, all about Meshack's toughness. Yeah. What a job he has done at Alabama, man.
Take a look at this replay here and see if there's any connection with the rim. Well, the hand grabbed the net for sure.
Okay, so here's what you're looking at. Do the officials feel like interfering with the net impacted the shot? That's what they're overlooking at. It's not illegal to touch the net, but they have to view, did that net touch or possibly touch the rim to be goaltending? Right there, you clearly see the defender. I think they'll come back and say that that's basket interference.
He got the rim, too.
Got the rim, too, absolutely.
And there was a similar play in the Kentucky game earlier today where Auburn sent a hand through the net to block a shot, and they gave him 2. Let's go to Molly.
Hey, guys, just something to keep an eye on. Mark Sears was moving gingerly, and in their last timeout, he complained about cramping to their athletic training staff. Went straight to them, asked for electrolytes, had some Gatorade, had some electrolyte gummies. He's doing everything that he can to hydrate, and he just came over to the sideline and immediately asked for more electrolyte gummies. So he's obviously battling through something right now, guys.
Well, the temperature in this building is very hot. There's 22,000 plus in this building.
I think they're going to count this goal. I really do. I think that was interference there. I definitely feel that way.
Yeah, you go over and look at it, you can clearly see not only the defender get into the net, but he hits that rim.
After video review,
so that will lead to one free throw from
when
Jemai
Red's hand
Meshack.
was actually in the net at the same time. So it would be
count the basket
good,
Meshack
one shot
for a 3-point play.
I think that's a good bit of officiating. That's using that chance going to evaluate in a positive way.
Jemai Meshack can flip a game defensively as good as anybody in college basketball, and Rick Barnes can literally put him on the 1 through the 4, even at times on the 5. He can circle the posts and hold his own, but and a big defensive strip and rip to cut into this lead by Mashack.
A couple of defenders come onto the floor for Tennessee with 12:45 to go, so we'll get a timeout after the 45 seconds comes off for the media timeout. So they bring Milicic and Okpara back in, and Lanier goes to the bench as Mashack converts the three-point play.
And guys, again, the importance of this game, the winner is going to be a 1 seed in the next bracket. The loser probably slides to the 2.
They're going to call a foul on Tennessee.
Tell you one thing, they are battling. They are scrapping. What a week facing the Alabama Roll Tide. Florida and Auburn to finish after today. Unbelievable playing those kind of teams in 1 week.
How about the rebound in traffic? They call the foul on Okpara.
And this building is 700 over capacity, 22,392. You can't hear yourself thinking here right now.
Sears, that's a good kick. And the three finds the bottom, another assist to Stevenson.
They're as good as anybody in the country, Ravi, Alabama, finding that weak side, corner, backside bomb.
Largest lead for Alabama tonight, 8 points and a whistle underneath on Holloway.
Tell you one thing, that's the highest percentage made of threes when you're shooting from that baseline corner.
But the discipline that Alabama has to keep those corners filled, they almost throw instinct passes when they touch that paint, knowing the confidence that shooters are parked out waiting.
They averaged the 10.7 threes made a game. I mean, they're really a good basketball team. This is a legit contender for the national championship.
No doubt. They've made 7 of their last 12 three-point shots. Switching defense now has Nelson on Ziegler with 8 seconds on the clock. He's going to try again. Looking for somebody. And that was terrific defense. Nelson never left his feet.
Nelson did a great job one-on-one. You would expect Ziegler to blow by him. He held his own and then comes up with the big block shot. Great possession defensively by Alabama, something we don't say that often.
And they know keeping that ball in the middle third of the floor, making it very difficult for Tennessee to come off shooters.
A Youngblood miss, rebounded Nelson, a fresh 20.
Boy, they make dagger threes here as good as anybody in this league.
Holloway too strong. That was a big trip there.
Yeah, where's the offense come right now with no Chaz Lanier? Gainey had a good first half. Milicic knocked down a 3.
Ziegler penetrate.
Mashack decides to try it, and they get points from a guy that doesn't give you a bunch.
But because Mashack's defender backs off of him, he gets the ball going downhill and finishes well.
Tell you one thing, Mashack is a flat-out winner. Watching him play defensively, offensively, as you said, going downhill, he's a tough, tenacious winner.
It is a clash of titans in Knoxville with under 11 to go. Neither team haven't given in at all. Neither team will flinch. Mashack right now, they switch out, and a little bit of a late recovery by Youngblood. Mashack makes it tough too. We had several in this game. What a finish coming up from Rocky Top.
Let's hear from Chaz Lanier in our Wooden Watch, brought to you by Principal.
I feel like I've helped the team succeed by buying into the team's defensive philosophy. That was one of the reasons I chose to come to the University of Tennessee. I also feel like I've helped the team by excelling in my role as a scorer, and my teammates have done a great job finding me, and we've all helped each other win.
Yeah, Wooden, of course, the greatest coach in the history of men's college basketball. And Chaz Lanier now one of those candidates to take the award. His game has risen dramatically, and he credits Rick Barnes for that. When Lanier came here, he said, I needed to be coached. And while Barnes will coach you hard, he knows the appreciation and the validation of what Barnes has done is being shown why he's a Wooden Watch finalist.
Yeah, well, like I said in the first half, The better Chaz Lanier gets at moving without the basketball, the deeper Tennessee is going to go in March. He's got to continue to work to get himself open. He's the offensive weapon for Rick Barnes.
Well, they get Milicic, by the way, Molly, with the elbow. That's his 4th foul. Go ahead.
Well, that's something that Rick Barnes was talking about in the huddle, about not getting any fouls, but continuing to play with physicality, force them to guard you. But to add on Chaz Lanier, you know, he said the biggest challenge for him was getting used to the physicality in the SEC. He struggled with the lack of space allowed by SEC defenders, but he overcomes that with physicality and pace. Physicality to push back the defenders, changes of pace like flying off screens one moment, being patient the next, to keep guys guessing and keep them on their heels.
2 ball handlers on the floor for Alabama now, Sears and Holloway. Oftentimes leads to a wide open shot.
And they both can shoot the 3.
That ball was deflected by Okpara. Holloway nails it.
It is automatic. I'm telling you, Alabama off of an offensive rebound kick out, those reload threes, they are money.
Credit that to the rebound to get him the second shot. An unbelievable rebound. Nelson came up big with that rebound.
Off a game in which they made 22 threes. They have 8 today. Ziegler answers. He has 10 in the game now.
But Ravi, if you're Alabama now, don't turn the ball over. The crowd is trying to impact this game. No live ball turnovers for Alabama.
They've only turned it over 8 times today.
Key is not live ball turnovers. That's the key, Carl.
Sears, they're going to get the whistle, and that's going to cause this crowd to stand and disagree, but it was a foul.
Sears is a very physical guard. He's a physical screener. He's a physical driver. Will cross you up. Okpara challenges. But 2 guys on Grant Nelson, but they were undersized guards trying to keep Nelson off the glass. And that reload 3 by Holloway, I think they shoot above 50% in those situations.
Tell you one thing, Nelson has really stepped up. His effort in this game has been very positive. You mentioned Sears, you know, a lot of people said too small for the next level. I don't buy it, man. I think he's going to play at the next level. He's going to make some team happy. He get drafted maybe in the middle of the second round later. This kid is a winner, too. He just loves playing. You watch him play. And his speed, quickness, they get shots off anybody. I don't want to hear who's he going to guard. Well, who's going to guard him out there, too?
Plus, he's got a great heartbeat right now. And Mark Sears in the game now, 17 points. Lanier needed it and got it.
He got it. He moved without the ball. Bottom line is he has to get movement without the ball, as you said, Jimmy, to get shots. Because certainly defense is going to play him tough. The only way he's going to get free is move without the ball.
Man, what a challenge by Cade Phillips to come clean up. Sears being wide open. Great recovery by 12 in White.
Phillips hands to Gainey. He rises. That's too strong, and the battle won by Omori, whose name has not been called very often today.
But
remember, people, Alabama leads the nation in rebound.
Phylon kick. Holloway gets rid of it so quickly. Good job by Phillips on the box out.
Right, they got Sears matching up with Lanier.
Gainey, three-point play. As he stepped in, drew the foul, and he pulls him within 4.
Ravi, Jordan Gainey is in the best shape of his life as a player. As a result, he's making plays late in games. This kid doesn't get fatigued, and because of his outstanding conditioning this year, he's a way much better defender. But their ability, Tennessee, to come off pin downs, curl and get to the elbow is something that you got to stay on top of right now if you're Alabama.
Well, his dad was certainly like that as a player at NC State. Now an assistant coach too. Big play right there. Gainey with a big play.
80% free throw shooter, Dick, and now this crowd is on its feet again.
Oh, it's hysteria. Hoops hysteria, baby. Look at them. Look at them go wild. They're all standing up. They love it. How could you not love it? We get paid for this? Are you serious? Are you serious? The next 8 minutes are nervous time as a visiting coach. You can't wait that clock to really move and get out of here, man. Get out of here with a W.
The Auburn win today clinches at least a share of the SEC title. For Alabama to have any hope, they have to win this one. Loose ball out of bounds. It's to Tennessee.
How about that pressure by defense on that baseline by Tennessee? Smothered all the action. The back screen was taken care of. The chase out was there. Again, Tennessee, the #1 defense in the country. Alabama trying to close this game out, and it's not going to be easy.
Tell you one thing, a little momentum right
Lanier's
now. Tennessee's
three.
Oh,
Around
that baby
and out.
was in. That baby was in. How did it come out? This is fun, Carl. This is fun, Jimmy.
Boy, Mark
Oh,
Sears
man.
just strong, man. He's able to keep Okpara off him.
He doesn't get sped up. He gets his body into you every time he seeks contact. So strong, Coach, in the upper body is Mark Sears.
There are a lot of guys who are good point guards. There's not 10 I can rip off names, but he'd be my first team All-American based on what I've watched the last month.
Gainey is feeling it. He's got 14.
You got a proud father on that sideline, too.
Philon, a soft pass, and it got picked off.
That's defense, man. That's why Ken Pomeroy has him rated when you know defensive efficiency #1.
Ziegler banks it in to tie it. He's got a big smile on his face. Sears draws the foul as he throws it up. Oh my goodness. The 22,007 are on their feet, and it is as loud as it's ever been inside this building. Appreciative of a 13-4 run from Tennessee. The Vols behind the shooting of Gainey and Ziegler window working ourselves into a 66-66 tie with 6.5 to go.
From ice in Columbus to ice in Knoxville on Mark Sears' neck. Coaches telling Mark Sears to catch his breath. Teammates putting ice on the back of his neck. It is hot and humid in here. He's dealing with cramps, and Sears doing everything that he can to will this team to a win. He told us he is playing his best basketball right now, and this is the most confident he's felt in his career. Guys.
And Oates has certainly confirmed that about Sears. He's been saying it for about 2 weeks now, that this is the best version I've ever seen of Sears.
And think about the balance offensively with Mark Sears. Coming into today, in SEC play, he has taken 102s, 103 threes, and 105 free throw attempts. The complete package offensively from Mark Sears. And look at this right here. Man, that is something special from Mark Sears.
Let me add this, too. He's really elevated his game defensively, too. He really is playing much better defensively.
He'll get the break right now as Nate Oates slaps him on the backside. And in comes Aiden Holloway. It is a 68-66 game with a #1 seed on the line for the winner. Gainey's been very good with the floater, and he knocks down another.
He's been big offensively. He has really stepped up his game, making big plays. He's a driver, slasher, very productive.
Oh, Holloway left open. He didn't hurt him, but a great rebound by Diabate.
The blue-collar guy that Diabate is wins the foot race to that loose ball.
He's the glue guy. He's a glue guy all game long. He's been a glue guy.
Holloway with 5 on the clock. And Okpara on him. No chance. Battles for it. Jump ball. Alabama possession. What a job by Holloway.
He created that. He created that. I don't like the rule. I think that sometimes you got defenses being penalized in that scenario with that alternate possession.
How about the fight in Aiden Holloway, who is 6'1", to go up and try to tie up Okpara, who's 6'11".
So he saves the possession, but the last time in this situation, they couldn't get the ball inbound as cleanly. Look how far Mark Sears has backed up now as the inbounds passer. He's way back here, getting off that timeline right there in front of him that Okpara is smothering. That's a good job by Sears to get depth right now to help him inbounds this ball.
Okpara transferred from Ohio State. Well, I should mention Ohio State here, right?
No, you should not.
Football.
No, you should not.
I should not mention that here.
No.
They had a great year in football, though. They lost in the playoffs to the Buckeyes. So did everybody else.
Ravi, legally, Sears can back up as far as he wants to. And he's right there in front of that camera line, trying to just get a little bit of a better angle than the last time.
Difficult pass. Youngblood able to regain control.
He's been very quiet. Last game he had 7 threes.
Look at Youngblood battle. Throw it up. No good. Meshack comes out of nowhere to grab it.
If they score here, the building's going to explode.
Ziegler dribbles, left hand, no good.
That's a bad shot. Bad possession.
Yep.
Bad possession.
Sears with 21 has the basketball.
What great shape he has to be in. The pace he plays, the beating he takes.
Well, that time they did a good job to protect against the corner 3 as Lanier was there to pick off the pass.
They love those corner threes, man. That's Mississippi State. Made 22 threes in that game.
Lanier's trying to work off of a screen, but Philon's top blocking him right now. Lanier underneath that basket trying to come off of the curl.
Gainey's got 7 of the last 10 for Tennessee. Off to the right. With the speed at which Philon dribbles that basketball. Sears open 3.
This place will explode if they take the lead.
No doubt.
The roof will come off.
Well, Rick Barnes said, let's just talk it over for a minute.
Yeah, he did not like his last 2 offensive possessions. You take that timeout and come out with something good.
We're going to take a timeout here. 68 all. What a game. Let's take a look at the All-State Tournament predictor. You think about the upcoming SEC and NCAA tournaments. Chance for the 1 seed, why this game is so significant. Tennessee and Alabama are right there. Florida, with that loss to Georgia, drops to 28%. Auburn could be 100%.
Auburn was unbelievable today. They played brilliantly. Broome didn't have a big day, but they really were sensational. In fact, I agree. Bruce Pearl, to me, has got to be right there as one of the guys for the Coach of the Year.
No doubt.
Along with Rick Pitino, who, by the way, St. John's won their first Big East championship since 1985 today. And I would put a third guy who doesn't have the elite kind of team, but what he did know where the program was and where it is today, Pat Kelsey of Louisville.
Good job by him, yeah. Yeah, Auburn could forfeit the remaining games and still be a 1 seed. That's how good
will
they've
shoot
been.
a couple of free throws.
I knew coming out of the timeout, Rick Barnes was not going to drop a play for a 3-point shot. He's going to get that ball with a NASCAR cut with one of his guards, going downhill and get Tennessee to that free throw line at bare minimum.
And a chance to take the lead for the first time in a long time for Tennessee.
Talking about the number 1 seeds, Duke, we know, Auburn, Houston. But Houston plays Kansas. If they lose that game, even though Kansas is struggling, do they maybe get edged out?
I think they do, Coach.
Yeah.
I think it's Auburn, Duke, and then a combination of Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Houston.
NBA Countdown, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, our Saturday primetime. How good has Steph Curry been? They're at Philadelphia, 8:30 Eastern Time on ABC and ESPN+. First lead since the first half, and Gainey's been the difference.
Remember we talked about it earlier.
Bad pass. And a foul on Mashack. And Nelson is down and looks to be in pain right in front of the Alabama bench. Hang on. It was one of those hospital balls that was floated, and Mashack jumped all over it. And in doing so, Nelson suffers the pain. Looks like he's currently focused on his right hip. They get the foul on Mashack. They'll tend to Nelson. Will take a timeout. Yeah, KC, as cold as it is in Columbus with a feels-like temperature of about 19 degrees, it is that hot here inside Thompson Bowling Food City Arena, and this crowd has been off the chain since the second half started, and now their home team's got a 2-point lead. Grant Nelson obviously is okay. He's on the free throw line.
He shoots that line drive. The line. Hey, remember this, people? We talked about it earlier in the game. Rick Barnes is 4-0 when both teams are rated here high. I'll tell you this, he's 4-0 with games, top 10 teams at home.
Tie game, under 4 minutes to play in one of the games of the year in college basketball.
And where did Rick Barnes go the last time in this situation? He went to his money play right now for Gainey going downhill. Good job by Nelson to switch it out and cover it up.
Back to Gainey.
Lanier's got to move. He's standing still. He's standing still. There's no motion. Easy to guard. I mean, I could guard him if he's standing
Blocked
like that.
by Nelson. What a job by Nelson. And head in hands for the coaches on the Tennessee bench.
To switch out and stop the ball of Gainey and then to challenge without fouling. Big time play by Nelson in crunch time.
Nelson was hurt 30 seconds ago. He made 2 free throws, came up with a block. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Crimson Tide.
Lanier's such a great shooter. You have that shooting ability he possesses. If he would be a little more active without the ball, one of the lost arts is basketball. Move without the ball. Man, he'd be really even more dangerous than what he is. They got a great backcourt, though. When you look Ziegler and Lanier, that's a solid backcourt.
Milicic comes in with 4 fouls. Gainey, who's been terrific, gets a breather.
Not easy to get it in with that much size on the ball. Look at Okpara make it tough.
Nelson isolated last time. He finds Philon. No, in and out. Omori had it. Tennessee basketball. Three minutes to go.
Play calls right now on both ends. Rick Barnes called it out. Trying to get Lanier freed up for a jump shot.
Okpara backs in. Great defense, Omori. Still 7 on the clock. Ziegler dribbled right into a near turnover. Throws it up. And that does not draw the iron. Here comes Alabama.
He tried to split the defense.
Philon finds Omori. No call on Mashack. Stevenson in traffic, nowhere to go. 5 on the shot clock. Sears is gonna fire it. Oh, what a shot!
Talk about money. Talk about a superstar coming up big in an environment away from home. You know, says I love it. Oh man, Mr. Sears, he's a solid goal. PT Pair, a prime time performer.
24 points right at the end of the shot clock, and he fouls Zakai Ziegler.
Ravi, Mark Sears is so good when he doesn't have the ball to come back and chase it down. A violent cut right here. I mean, Lanier's not bad. He gets picked off. Could have been a moving screen that doesn't get called. And Mark Sears, man, with a dagger on the road. I judge great guard play by what you do on the road in big games. None bigger than Mark Sears in this conference.
Clutch, baby, clutch. had back-to-back 30-point games. People haven't had that in the SEC. 35 against Missouri, 30 against Kentucky.
Ziegler has missed 4 free throws in this game. Every one of them crucial right now with under 2 to go.
Chaz Lanier out of the game, Gainey into the game. As Ziegler shoots for his 15th point and gets it. Sears has been cramping up for most of the second half, has needed ice.
We may be headed for overtime today. We may be headed for a little overtime.
Phylon, no good.
Now shot selection becomes so big. Quality shots when you come down the stretch here in these possessions.
Ziegler bangs into Sears, and by doing so, lost the ball. Phylon, green light special, lays it up and in.
What a terrific play by Phylon. Designates a true freshman. He's no transfer portal, he's a true freshman.
3-point lead for Alabama and a timeout for Barnes.
Zakai Ziegler has had a couple of crucial turnovers in the last couple of minutes. You know the guy's a fighter and a competitor, but he tries to snake that ball screen and get that defender on the backside, and all it did was allow Alabama to swarm a smaller guard and come out with it. Huge rip and run by... Man, Alabama's defense has been good in big moments. Ziegler tries to get the dribble hold. A little bit of contact from behind goes uncalled. And LeBaron Phylon, man, the true freshman, to get the rip and the run. He gets in front of Gainey and then holds off Milicic right there with a little bit of lower body contact. Allows himself to free up that left hand and a 3-point lead for Roll Tide.
He is so strong physically, man. He's a genuine, you don't have too many, you don't transfer portals, but he's a real, genuine, legit diaper dandy.
As the team, Alabama, walked back on the court, they all gathered and pointed to the letters on the front of their jersey.
And this is a must-score possession for Tennessee.
They're 0 for their last 5. A trip, no call. Ziegler went down. Possession arrow, Tennessee.
Wow, how about that? I mean, inadvertent or not, if that ball handler gets tripped, that's called a foul. And
little fighting over that screen.
Fighting over the screen. Ziegler stepped on Okpara's foot, and then Sears gets into the foot of Ziegler right there, and that should be a foul call.
I agree with you. That was definitely contact.
And that's 2 free throws that they don't get a chance to take. They don't need a 3, even though they're down 3, as Gainey finds Okpara. No good. Rebound in traffic, Nelson. And now they are going to have to foul, and they do. It's the freshman Phylon. That's 5 on Milicic, and he's out of the game.
And for the first time, Nate Oates going up against Rick Barnes. Alabama goes over the 74-point mark. They have 75 right now, but their defense the last couple of minutes has been absolutely on point. I know they got away with a foul that wasn't called on the trip, but man, you see that is a tight Alabama huddle right now with great focus, trying to hang on to #1 seed line in that NCAA tournament bracket.
They don't care at all about the record, etc., about 85, but their record of 85 points or more, 9 consecutive games on the road. Looks like it's going to come to an end, but you know what?
It's about the W.
If you leave with a W, that's all that counts. You leave Tennessee with a W.
Huge free throws for the freshman phenom, Phylon, front iron.
Free throw line's been a disaster.
It has been.
They would be absolutely walking home with a W. They've been tough. What's the number now, Carl?
16 for 25, Coach. Is it a 1-possession game after this free throw or a 2-possession game? Either way, Tennessee does not have to take a fast 3.
He's fighting 22,700 as he gets the basketball back to put him up by 4. Money.
If you're Tennessee, you got to score quick, but again, it does not have to be a 3.
Still got a lot of time yet.
Lanier into Nelson. He's got a chance for a 3-point play.
What a big shot there, baby. The Stars stepping up with a big, big play. Wow.
Well, they throw it to Lanier, and that's an empty corner. So he gets a good angle and beats Philon, and Nelson rotates over, tries to go verticality, but Chaz Lanier is a physical guard. That's the right play. Nelson not in legal guarding position. The contact occurs, and Chaz Lanier now has a chance to tighten this thing down to a 1-point game.
Yeah, he was fouled on a play, no doubt about it. But that was not an easy shot.
Not at all.
That was a tough shot over a big guy. And he came through big. He's been a little silent after a great start.
Lanier's an 80% free throw shooter. That looked long, and it was. And they're going to call a foul on Alabama.
Wow.
Wow, what a break. Oh, he's upset. He's got to be upset. Nate Oates is not a happy camper right now.
They call it on Stevenson, guys.
It was Okpara, right? They got fouled. I mean, the effort of Okpara or Meshack, I'm not sure who it is. I believe it's Meshack. Absolutely, Meshack just whips his guy. That's a winning possible play by Meshack. He was on the right side, and he got all the way to the left side of the restricted arc and gets himself to the line and a chance to tie it up.
2 of 3 today, 73% season. We're tied. I should say it's 76-75. This is to tie.
Alabama just made a mistake. They didn't close him off. They didn't pinch him, and they allowed Meshack to creep in from that right side. This has to be a hard seal-off over here, and it's not. And Meshack just makes a possible winning play.
Well, he's a winner. We talked about the game. He's a winner. Comes up with big plays defensively. Meshack's the kind of guy you got to have to win.
Alabama takes Omori out, and they put Stevenson in.
They said this is the biggest home game in the history of Tennessee men's basketball.
Wow.
And the senior Meshack to tie it. Does so.
Stepped up and promised to be. We may be heading for OT, baby.
They take Lanier out, bring Phillips in for defense, and pressure on the ball.
Listen to this crowd.
Phillips also in for rebounding ability.
Less than a second difference between the shot clock and game clock. They can get the last shot.
Are they going to bring Sears to the ball?
Watch the offensive rebound. Watch the offensive rebound. I'm telling you, it's always a dangerous play.
Yep. Philon wants to do it himself. Meshack. In possession, arrow, Alabama with 2.4 to go on the shot clock. 2.6 in the game. How about Philon, the freshman, taking that ball deep?
I mean, they come up. Alabama tried to run Sears up the floor with a ghost screen. Tennessee had no part of it. They stuck with Sears and said, it's not going to be Sears that gets downhill. It's going to be Philon. They take Sears out, and now it's Philon's time to go to work. He gets down the left side, and Meshack right there comes in strong with 2 hands. Doesn't foul, ties up the ball, and it's Alabama possession. The ghost screen doesn't work. Philon gets to the left side. Meshack right there. Comes in with 2 hands, not 1. Therefore, it's a tie ball. Steven Anderson with a call. Nate Oates now with a timeout.
How about the veterans of Tennessee between Gainey, Ziegler, and how about Meshack making winning plays?
Meshack is a winner. We talked about it earlier. Made the play at the end to go to the free throw line, converted the boat, made the defensive play there.
2.6 to go, Jimmy. 2.4. What's your play here?
Yeah, well, if you're Tennessee, I think you put size on the ball and make it difficult to see a clean look at given angle. We've talked about it in the last few times that Alabama's tried to inbounds it. Alabama has 2.4 seconds. In the half court, Ravi, they have time for a catch, 2 bounces, and get to the rim. You got to cover up everything right now if you're Tennessee. Also, Alabama has 2 timeouts left. If Nate Oates doesn't like what he sees, he can call it again. They have 3.8 seconds in the game, 2.6 on the shot clock.
So they've added some
is the number that you're concerned with.
They added some time to it. They have a number of guys they can put on the floor to shoot, including Sears, Youngblood, Holloway.
Well, Mark Sears is a great screener. Now, Mark Sears is a threat to set a back screen and pop and finish this game off as a shooter. A lot of options for Nate Oates, a lot of things for Rick Barnes and his guys be covering right now.
Again, a #1 seed is on the line for the team that wins the game.
No doubt about it, but I'll tell you this right now. Mark Sears has got to get the ball. I don't think, you know, you got to be a genius to figure that out.
Review,
to go to
clocks
Harvard.
have been reset.
Mark Sears is the guy I would want to take this shot.
And Mark Sears wants to be that guy. Like I said, where does Mark Sears line up? Is he a screener first and then a pop guy that either sticks the shot or gets downhill?
It looks like the freshman Phylon will be inbounding the ball with Youngblood, Stevenson, Nelson, and Sears on the floor. They got Phillips trying to make it more difficult.
And look how far Phylon has backed up right there. He gives him a little bit more room. He can even step back and one more step if he wanted
Nelson
to.
set a screen for. There's a double
There
screen.
goes Sears to the corner. 5-second violation against Alabama. It's Tennessee basketball.
Tennessee covered up everything they took away. Not easy to do in a building this loud. You've got to talk loud and constant, and Tennessee just did it to perfection to force a 5-second count, and now Rick Barnes has 3 dribbles and a shot to try to win this game.
Difficult spot for a freshman Phylon to be in.
Remember at Illinois, they ran a play for Gainey to circle off of this right here and get all the way to the rim for a layup. This is Gainey. Watch that action right now if you're Alabama. Same situation that Tennessee was in at Illinois. Can they close it out, getting the ball 3.8 and a shot off?
And he's done it once already in this game at the end of the first half, remember.
Plenty of time to get a shot.
Plenty
they
of time.
Gainey to get it. He did, as you said, Carl, so well at the end of the half.
Ziegler will inbounds, and here we go.
Well, they turned down Gainey. Now Meshack's got to go.
He will fire. He wins it! Jamal Meshack wins it!
Meshack was a star of stars in the last 10 minutes of this game. Meshack made big play defensively, big play after big play. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow. Look at this group. Look at this group. Oh, wow. Unbelievable, man.
Some guys
Meshack
just know how to win.
Yeah.
And that's Meshack.
and he did it the entire end of the game.
A huge mistake by Alabama to call for a 5-second count and open the door for Tennessee. Gainey got turned down, and Meshack, as a senior, says, "Coach, I got you." The feet are set. The ball comes off. Rise, release, rotation,
Wow.
and result, and the building explodes.
That was a tough shot. I mean, that was like 35 feet, man. Unbelievable.
Here we go.
Meshack.
Let's get it to Molly. Go ahead, Molly.
Jemai, you just had a big sigh of relief, a tie game with 3.8 seconds left. What was the plan for that game-winning shot?
First, I want to thank God, man. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man. Like, without him, I don't know where I'd be. It's been ups, it's been downs this season, and man, I want to give glory to him and my mom and my dad. But man, this crowd, man, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. I don't do that without my team.
Jemai, it's obvious that you are the vocal and emotional heartbeat of this team. What were you saying to your guys in the final moments to win this game?
I said we know what we're built for. We know who we are. This is what we've done every single day. Don't question what it is. I don't care if we're down 20. I don't care if we're up 20. You stick to the program, man. That's what we've been doing, man. It's in our blood. It's who we are. And that's how we got to keep going.
Congrats on the win, Jemai.
Thank you so much.
Ravi.
He relies, does Rick Barnes, so much on his seniors. It's Ziegler and it's Meshack. This is a 35% three-point shooter who read the moment and delivered when he had to in the biggest moment of his career at Tennessee.
What a heartbreaking loss of Alabama. a missed rebound, a foul what Bayshot gets, or they win the game.
What a game for Jimmy Dykes and Dick Vitale, Molly McGrath, our producer and director. What a game. Game of the year in college basketball. Buzzer beater.